And we welcome you in here to Beckham Field for the rubber match here between Gamecock softball and Ole Miss. Again, I'm Spencer Ball, joined by Xander Collins. We've seen a lot of low-scoring affairs so far the last couple days, but we should be in shape for a good final match of the series here today.
Yeah, beautiful day. Both teams obviously going to want to get this one to take this series. As you were saying, Spencer, pretty close thus far in the series, so should be a good one.
Yeah, each teams have only scored 2 runs combined through 2 games. Xander, what's it going to take for South Carolina to get the offense going here?
Got to swing the bat. You were saying a lot of the times in the game yesterday, people were just letting the balls go by. Maybe some generous umpiring, maybe. Who's to say? But you got to swing the bat, got to get on base.
Absolutely. I think showing a little more aggression would be good just all around. Ole Miss started to show it later in yesterday's game. I think that's a big reason why they came out with a 2-1 victory again. It's Jory Hurd on the mound for South Carolina. She's kind of been their ace all year long. She put up a good 3 2/3 innings yesterday, giving up only 1 run. What's she going to have to do to try and get through this Rebel lineup that's really stacked at the top?
I mean, consistency is key in every sport, I think, Spencer. So just continuing to do what she's been able to do all season for the Gamecocks is really going to be the key to winning this one.
Absolutely. We're going to take just a quick short break. We'll come back with starting lineups, and your first pitch should be about 3:02. So stick with us here. See you in just a minute. Again, welcome back to Beckham Field. I'm Spencer Ball, joined by Xander Collins. Game 3 between number 10, South Carolina, and number 19, Ole Miss. We'll get you those starters in just a minute, but your leadoff hitter for Ole Miss is going to be the left fielder, number 6, Jaden Pone. The first pitch from Jory Hurd swung on and fouled down the third baseline just slightly by Pone.
I mean, you'd expect a lot of production out of the first batter up. 2 hits and an RBI in the last one. See if she can continue that streak.
Even in the loss on Friday, she was really good, racking up 2 hits there. She watches strike 2 clip the inside third. Is Jory Hurd working quickly against the leadoff hitter Pone. And the infield is playing in a little bit. It's typical with Pone. We've seen it all series long. She is quick. As she slaps one down, it is called foul before Rhodey fields it. So we'll do it all over again. Ole Miss breaking out the red uniforms today. Xander, you a fan?
I like the baby blue a lot more, I'll say that.
I do too. We haven't seen it all series long. Maybe the umpires stole their jerseys here. The 0-2. Driven hard into center field. Lilia racing back. It bounces off the warning track. Pone headed for second. She slides in. It's a leadoff double for the Rebels, and that ball was smashed.
Yeah, kind of a different way to start this game in this series. Both teams kind of taking a little bit to get going in the previous 2 matchups. So an exciting game right out of the gate, which you'd expect from 2 teams of this caliber.
We've been waiting for the offenses to seemingly come alive so far, and really Pone has been delivering a lot for the Rebels all series. No surprise, she just absolutely crushes a double to deep center field. That brings up another lefty, the right fielder, Lair Boutte. She swings at the first pitch and slices it back. Again, Xander, if you're doing things the right way, you've got Gamecock women's basketball on your TV, and you've got us on your laptop or your phone. So thanks for hanging out with us, and even if it's just a few of you, we appreciate it here.
It means a lot to us here.
Sure does. As Hurd brings home the 0-1. Fouled off again by Boutte.
I got to say, Spencer, I like this approach to the game, starting aggressive, trying to get things done early. Maybe they want to watch the game too.
Maybe they do. It should be a good one, but again, it's the offenses have been very okay with walking, and I think, that's not necessarily a bad thing if the pitchers are missing by a lot, but we've seen it so far this weekend. It's a lot of close misses, and that's a dangerous game because, frankly, until you figure out the umpire, you never know how some of those are going to be called. The 0-2 from Hurd, driven over the head of Shelton into right field. It beat the shift of Knight, so Pone's going to come home. Boutet's in at second with a stand-up double, and the Rebels have a 1-0 lead early in the first inning.
Yeah, back-to-back doubles for the Rebels, and head coach Jamie Traskell is going to love that start for the Rebels as Pone is greeted by her teammates in the dugout for an exceptional run. Starting hot. I have no other words.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's two really good pieces of contact back-to-back, and for Boutet, even though she was a lefty, the outfield was shifted to the left, so an opposite field hitter pulled this time, and what would have been a normal flyout for Knight beat her to the right side. Brings up Aaliyah Binford. She pops this one up into center field. Lilio racing in. It's an easy catch in front of the South Carolina logo for out number one.
And like you were saying, Spencer, both of those doubles absolutely crushed. Boutet at that time able to keep it low to her benefit, as you were saying. But
yeah, that brings up left-handed hitting first baseman Percy Yamas. Hasn't been her best series, but she is an outstanding freshman for Ole Miss. And she'll watch that one just miss a hair outside for ball one. It's the first ball Hurd has thrown so far, as Ole Miss has either watched strikes go by, fouled it off, or just raked in some doubles. The 1-0 from Hurd. This one's good for a strike. The fastball froze Yamas. The 1-1 with a runner on second. Fouled off by Yamas, just back into the netting. Moves the count to 1-2. One out here again as the Rebels have a 1-0 lead in the top of the first.
Hurd's looking to pick up where she left off yesterday with 5 strikes in just under 4 innings. An incredible player for the Gamecocks.
She has been all season. That fastball just a tad low and outside. So the count is evened up at 2-2 here. Again, it's a beautiful day for softball. We've got some cloud coverage, but it's not expected to rain just yet. Expected to pour tomorrow, so, if you're in Columbia, bring your umbrella. The 2-2. Fouled off down the third baseline as Yamas is a little late on Hurd's fastball, but stays alive. Hurd steps back in the circle, toes the rubber, gets the sign here from the pitch comm. She winds, deals, high and outside, and the count runs full to Percy Yamas. The full count pitch. Soft grounder, Shelton ranges to her right, fires over to first. Rohde gloves it for out number 2, and Binford advances to third. We'll see if this one gets challenged there, as Yamas told by the coaches to stay at first. And we'll get the signal in just a second here. She is going to jog back to the dugout. It looked that the Rebels were going to use a challenge, but decided against it. So that's 2 outs, a runner on third, and it brings up the catcher, Lexi Brady. And when you talk about dangerous hitters in the SEC, you got to bring up her name.
Absolutely.
The first pitch she sees, swung on. She's underneath it. Vinson ranging in from left field, and in foul territory, she'll make the grab. The Gamecocks get out of the first inning. They do give up 1 run to the Rebels, but let's see what they can do in the bat. Stick with us here on SGTV. We'll be right back after a quick break. And we welcome you back here to Beckham Field as Ole Miss defensive adjustment there for Ole Miss. In left field, they have Jaden Pone. In center, it's Taylor Malvin. In right, it's Lair Boutte. From the infield, left to right, it's Angelina De Leon at third. Ryan Starr at short. Mackenzie Pickens at second base. Percy Yamas is your first baseman. Behind the dish, it's Lexi Brady. And to complete the battery on the bump, the Friday starter, it's Miley Wachenio. Her first pitch to Lelio. Fastball good for strike one. And one thing we saw on Friday, that pitch was getting called a ball all day long, and Wachenio kept trying to just paint that corner. She got the first call of the night to go her way. The 0-1 from her. That one's low and outside. Count evened up at 1. And Xander Wachenio, one of the best freshman pitchers in the country on Friday, 10 walks.
10 walks, wow.
Yeah, it was, she still only gave up 1 run, so did a great job navigating with base runners on, but just couldn't quite find her spots. That's good for strike 2. A little higher in the zone, but gets the call. We've got, of course, a new home plate umpire as they rotate the crew around. It's Chelsea Clark behind the dish tonight. At first, it's Jacob Aggie, and at third, Lyndon Baptiste. Wachenio's going to step off the rubber and call time here.
Mentioned first base umpire Aggie already had to make a decision in the top of that first inning. One that almost made the Ole Miss dugout challenge, but game still early, and they were able to hit 2 doubles very early as well to put them in the lead. So they think, you know what, we'll hold on to it.
It looked to be the right call as well. As the 1-2, Lelio slaps it over to short. Ryan Starr gloves it for out number 1. That's a heads-up play from the Rebel shortstop.
Very nice job from her to keep that ball from hitting the ground. It looked like it could have bounced, but kept the glove stiff and on the ground and was able to make the play.
Yeah, she's almost got like a dirt-colored glove, so she went down and,
Hey, it's smart. It's smart.
It is, as it brings up Ariana Rhodey, the first baseman for South Carolina, and she has been huge for this offense all year long. The first pitch she sees skips the dirt. Xander, you tell us a little bit about Rhodey.
Yeah, Rhodey batting .36 this year is on the upper half of batting averages for South Carolina. A very important player for them. It continues to be a standout performer for them as well this season.
That's right, in the 1-0, she checks her swing, and she didn't go. It was high, ball 2. And for a team that doesn't necessarily hit a ton of home runs, Rhodey brings in the majority of them with 11 on the year, a major power bat, and she also leads the team in walks. She has 37. Looking to add another one, the 2-0. Just kidding, she drives one into right field. It's going to be a single for Ariana Rhodey, her first hit of the series, I do believe.
Well, very prolific player, and it's a player that Ashley Chastain-Water trusts a whole lot, bringing her over from Charlotte. But like many players on this team, and it's been a fun journey to see how they translate to SEC ball, and they've done well so far.
They really have. I mean, it was hard to kind of place expectations for this team, but I don't know if anyone expected this, and brings up the left-handed hitting Carly Shelton. She watches the first pitch, missed just a tad outside, ball 1. Shelton and Rhodey switched spots in the lineup today. We saw it was Rhodey batting in the 3-hole, Shelton in the 2 yesterday. They flipped that, and as Shelton had a really good day with 2 hits yesterday. She drives this one hard up the middle, past a diving Star. It's 2 back-to-back singles, and the Gamecocks have 2 runners aboard for their cleanup hitter. It's Abigail Knight now up to bat.
Gamecocks were able to find runners on bases, especially late in that game, in the last game in the series. Unable to capitalize on it, though, but we know that this is something they're capable of. Getting multiple people on base at the same time it's definitely in their wheelhouse, Spencer.
It is, and I like the approach a lot better today. They're not waiting too deep into counts, seeing a pitch they like, and just turning on it. That's why this team is really, really solid. That's why they have almost 30 wins on the season. In fact, both teams going for their 30th this afternoon. South Carolina is, let me find it, 29-8, and so are the Rebels. They just have flip-flopping SEC records. The Gamecocks 5-6 in conference play. The Rebels 6-5, so they could.
Very similar season so far.
Absolutely.
And it's very poetic that they've split the series thus far as well.
It feels right as Knight watches strike one go by there. Just caught that outside third. Again, that's kind of how Wachenio likes to throw. She gets the call that time. The 0-1 with one out. Off-speed pitch in the dirt, taking off is Rhodey. She's safe at third, and Shelton's in at second. Heads up base running from South Carolina, and now they have two runners in scoring position. Just the one out, Xander.
I mean, it's as good of a start as you can expect from this Gamecock squad. We mentioned it kind of earlier in the pregame how they kind of take a little while to get going. They like to start games sometimes in the latter half of these matches. So, I mean, electric starts from both sides so far. I mean, I like the aggression.
Absolutely. Is now the count is 1-2 against Abigail Knight. The lefty, again, another one of those transfers we talked about from UNCC. The sixth-year player is batting .327. She has to deal with the infield playing a little in. Watches a fastball go high and upstairs, and the count is evened up at 2. Yeah, we are dealing with some wind here, whipping in from right to left field, and it's only supposed to get a little bit stronger as the game goes on. So something to keep an eye on as Xander has to reapply some tape.
Yeah, Scotch tape's your best friend in the booth.
The 2-2 fastball again misses. The count is full in the on-deck circle. It's Ella Chansey followed by Lexi Winters in the hole. And South Carolina looks to get in the run column. Ole Miss leads us 1-0. Runners on second and third. Full count pitch with one out from Wachenio. She winds. She deals. Outside, just barely. Ball 4 as Knight takes her base. And the bases are loaded for the third baseman, Ella Chansey.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Spencer, but that would have been Ariana Rhodey's first stolen base of the season to put her at third?
I think so. It depends kind of how they scored it because it did go off the glove of Brady.
Okay.
So not sure if they count that as stolen base if, it was considered like a drop ball or a pass ball or
Gotcha.
A wild pitch. But, hey, we'll keep you posted for sure. So the bases are loaded for Chansey, the off-speed in the dirt, and Brady does a good job to slide over and grab it.
She's had a few of those so far today. A couple skidding off the dirt.
And she likes those pitches, typically, fastball heavy, but when she goes off speed, tries to get, mess with the hitter's timing. The 1-0, it hits Chansey. Looks like they'll say it hit the end of the bat, and that is just heartbreaking for South Carolina.
The fans are going to let them hear it, too.
Chastain Woodard comes out to talk to the home plate umpire, Chelsea Clark, as she's not happy. Looked like it went off the elbow of Chansey from up here, but again, we've got a tough view of that, but we are going to see a challenge here, I do believe.
The umps will meet just outside the circle to talk about it. I mean, you mentioned we don't have the best angle, but it did look like it was off the elbow.
Yeah, it
bounced straight down.
Yeah. So not sure if it was off just the end of the bat. South Carolina is going to challenge it, so hopefully we'll get that review on the Jumbotron for you. We'll break it down, but again, it was called a foul ball on the field, so we're going to need some indisputable evidence here. And the Jumbotron's a little blurry, so that's mighty tough, Xander.
That's an awful close one.
Not sure if it hits her and then the bat. As I launch my pen here. Because if that's kind of off her hand and not the bat, then should be a free base. But if it touches the bat, I do believe that is going to be a foul ball.
It's definitely not indisputable evidence if there is evidence.
Yeah.
So we saw Ole Miss kind of hold on to their challenge when they were thinking about it in the top of the first. South Carolina does do so. It doesn't look like it'll go their way, though.
Yeah, we'll get the call here officially. Call is upheld. So it is counted as a foul ball. The count is now 1-1 with one out to Ella Chansey. The righty-righty matchup now. Bases are loaded with one out. And Xander, we saw this situation yesterday with Chansey up to bat. She grounded into a double play. 1-2-3, pitcher, catcher, first baseman to put two outs on the board. Gamecocks have to convert in these opportunities. She checks her swing and fouls it towards the South Carolina dugout for strike 2.
Well, you said it best, Spencer, that they're attacking these counts early, and maybe you would expect that to continue, especially with bases loaded. She's got one more strike left, but now or never.
Yeah, you want to put something in play, anything to try and get the runners moving and make the Ole Miss defense do something. The 1-2 from Wachenio comes home. It's popped up and into the netting by chance. He just got enough of it to stay alive. And I think, that's a good approach. Even if you can't drive it, just get enough to get yourself another pitch. And if anything, eat into Wachenio's total pitch count.
Something we saw a lot against Texas Tech last time they were at home for a series. Keeping them alive for a long time.
The 1-2, she's under it. Yamas racing over. It's close to the Carolina dugout. She makes the catch against the netting. That's just a great play from the Rebel first baseman. As now the base is still juiced for the catcher. It's Lexi Winters coming up to bat. She picked up a hit yesterday, looking to do it again, this time with 2 outs. South Carolina trailing 1-0.
Well, we're hoping it won't be deja vu for the Gamecocks from yesterday.
Started the bottom of the first, bases loaded, no runs from it. The first pitch to Winters, off speed in the dirt. Brady snags it, but it is ball 1 from Wachenio. Again, that's probably the 3rd or 4th time we've seen that so far today. Off speed hasn't been there from Wachenio.
Thinking Lexi Winters can be a little bit more patient here if she continues to try that stuff, because she gets on base, someone goes home.
That's right. The 1-0. Off speed, Winters is under it. Back goes Pone in left. It's back off the top of the wall. 1 run scores, 2 runs scored. It's an RBI double from Lexi Winters, and the Gamecocks lead it 2-1.
It's so close to a grand slam as well, hitting off the top part of that back wall.
Gamecocks you couldn't have missed it by less. 1 foot more under, and that would have been a grand slam for Lexi Winters. From our vantage point, it's hard to tell just how well she hit it. Pone just kept running back. It went off the very top of the wall, the red line at the top.
Yeah, right there.
That was a beautiful piece of hitting for Lexi Winters. The Gamecocks have the lead, and we've got some offense here in this series.
Well, she made me eat my words. I said maybe she could be a little bit more patient. Next pitch almost sends that one out of Beckham Stadium.
She liked it. That's the key.
Hey.
If it's a pitch you like, South Carolina has proven that today they're going to swing early and swing often if they can, and I think that is as good of a lesson as they could have learned after yesterday's 2-1 close defeat.
Bottom of the first, Spencer, we almost have as many runs as the series in total.
And Brooke Blankenship's up to bat. Anything is possible. She can put a ball into play.
Maybe they had 1 less out. We would have seen Blankenship's specialty this season, because we've got a runner on 3rd.
That's right. Brooke Blankenship is 2nd in the nation in sacrifice flies with 6. And we are actually going to have a pitching change for the Rebels. Something wasn't sure we'd see, but it is a new pitcher. Coming into the game for them is number 16. It's the left-handed pitcher, Brianna Lopez. So far in her season, she's 7-1 with a 2.45 ERA, 46 strikeouts to 27 walks. But one thing to note, Xander, it's South Carolina's first time seeing a lefty all weekend.
Yeah, a lot of the times these games can feel like chess. A lot of mind games, just trying to switch things up, get people off of their rhythm. And what better way to do it than to switch up the hand of a pitcher?
Yeah, I'm just surprised it happened this early. We saw Lopez warming up yesterday. Wasn't sure if she'd come in for Aaliyah Benford, who was in the circle for the Rebels, but she never ended up getting the call. She gets it in just, the first inning with 1 out left. Very surprised that the Rebels don't let their star freshman, Miley Wachenio, try and work through it, but hey, there's a reason they're coaches and we're in the booth. So It is going to be Lopez in the circle. It's going to be a fun new challenge for South Carolina, and we get to call a new pitcher. So very interesting stuff as they're having a meeting with the infield, a meeting on the circle. Again, runners on 2nd and 3rd. It's Winters at 2nd, Knight at 3rd, and the right-handed hitting shortstop, Brooke Blankenship, up to bat. Also interesting to see that, the Rebels decide to put in their left-handed pitcher against a righty batter of Brooke Blankenship. Sometimes as a right-handed batter, you like those matchups. You get to see the pitch coming in a little bit better.
Can really get across it as well.
Yeah, we'll see how she fares against Lopez. Her first pitch of the series coming right now. She fires home, right down the heart of the plate. Strike one. It's a good start right there, Xander.
I was about to say, it's perfect start. She's ready.
She is, and for South Carolina, they're just going to have to try and adjust. The 0-1. That one off the plate. Brady tried to frame it up, but Chelsea Clark, the home plate umpire, doesn't budge. 1-1 is your count now. 2 outs, and the Gamecocks lead us here at Beckham Field. 2-1. Lopez comes home. That one a called strike. I think the catcher did a lot of work there. It's brought that pitch up into the zone, but hey, that's the beauty of baseball or softball. Sometimes the catchers buy you a couple calls.
That's very true.
Lopez gets the signal now for the 1-2 pitch. She winds, she deals. Blankenship lines it into right. It's fair.
Oh.
Knight comes home. Winters is home and no throw. It's a 2 RBI single for Brooke Blankenship.
I mean, we spoke about it as she walked into the batter's box, Spencer. That's exactly the position you want her to be batting in, with 2 people on second and third. And just like that, her single brings 2 home.
Yeah, it's just a great piece of hitting. It went in on the hands of Blankenship. She went opposite field. I mean, it could have touched, just about this much from the line, but that's more than enough.
Ball curving out as well.
That's right. The Gamecocks lead at 4-1, and Natalie Heath is your batter as Lopez missed high for ball 1. And now we have officially seen more runs in this game than the previous 2 combined. So the offenses, it took until Sunday, but they are revved up and ready to run here as Heath grounds that one just slightly foul down the third base chalk. Heath is a .303 hitter, the redshirt junior from Sharpsburg, Georgia. But 13 of her hits are extra base hits, so whenever she gets her bat to the ball, she really has some power. The 1-1. Off speed, just gets a piece of it. That was a nice changeup from Lopez.
Yeah, we mentioned Lopez had a great start with that first pitch and then ends up teeing one up for Blankenship, but I'm sure that she's going to want to use this opportunity to prove why she should be playing more.
Yeah, she's throwing strikes, but the Gamecocks are so far just hitting them. The 1-2. Heath lays off as that one went high. A good catch from Brady. Lopez has kind of been the third option for the Rebels all year long. She has the 3rd most innings on the team, 51 1/3. But just her first action of the series. She's going to call time as the pitch clock was winding down. Again, for the Gamecocks, they lead at 4-1 here. Brooke Blankenship is on first. The righty batter, Natalie Heath, in the box. Lopez fires home, off speed, slapped up the middle. Starr fields it and steps on second to finally end the first, but not without any damage. South Carolina has woken up. They score 4 runs in the bottom of the first. We're going to take a quick break and move into the top of the second inning. Again, your Gamecocks lead at 4-1. Stick with us here on SGTV. Into Beckham Field again. I'm Spencer Ball, joined by Xander Collins. If you missed it, you missed the most explosive inning of the series. South Carolina leads at 4-1 as the Rebels come back up to bat, and we are going to give you a score update after the first quarter of the Gamecock women's basketball game. UConn currently leads it 19-14, but South Carolina does tend to start a little slow, Xander.
That is true, and their last couple games in the tournament specifically, they've been down at halftime, except against Duke, I think. So, and against Indiana and Maryland, they were down. And they found ways to win each of them. Obviously, they're in the championship, so.
Two great teams. I mean, you know, that's the beauty of the tournament. They're the two best teams remaining. As Hurd fires her first pitch to the freshman, Mackenzie Pickens. It's a ball on the inside third. In the first, Hurd threw 16 pitches. Started a little slow as it was back-to-back doubles from Jaden Pone and an RBI double from Lair Boutte. After that, 3 straight outs. The 1-0. Fastball outside. 2-0 is your count.
That quick start for Ole Miss looked like that was going to be the majority of the damage, but until South Carolina got up to bat. I mean, those back-to-back doubles looked really, really dangerous. But like you said, nothing came of it.
This one lined into center pretty weakly. Lilio jogs in. Easy grab for the first out at the top of the second inning. That one maybe sounded a little better than it ended up looking. Thought that one had a bit more pop, but Lilio playing right at the beautiful painted SC in center field. Just jogs in to make a nice grab. Brings up the third baseman, Angelina De Leon, for her first AB of the game. Hurd gets the signal. Now she comes home with it. Again, under this one, De Leon ranging over is Shelton. It's another easy pop out. And in just 4 pitches, Hurd has 2 outs.
These back-to-back outs proving to be costly for Ole Miss. You mentioned that happened in the first inning. We mentioned how it could have been deja vu for the Gamecocks having so many players on base, but they ended up sending them home. So things kind of flip-flopping back and forth this series, which is a good one to see. Good matchup.
Absolutely, as Hurd has 77 strikeouts on the year, but so far she's been letting her defense do some work. Hasn't added to that total tonight. She missed on the first pitch to the shortstop, Ryan Starr, just a 125 hitter on the year. Isn't known for her ability at the plate so far, but she is really good in the field. I think that's definitely her strength. But again, if you're an SEC softball player, it's the Premier Conference without a doubt.
You're probably pretty good.
Yep, 100%. As the 1-1 comes home, Starr makes good contact. Blankenship backhanded throw over to Rhodey in time. Starr heads back to the dugout. It's another excellent play from Brooke Blankenship as the Gamecocks lead it 4-1 after a 1-2-3 top of the second. Xander, how about that?
What a play. Something that we were watching the Cubs game earlier, something that the pitcher tried to do, that jump throw by Blankenship too. That one happened. That one
did.
That one came to fruition.
That one was, just as sweet as it gets. Backhanded stop, jump throw, and beat out a quick runner in Ryan Starr. So that is as impressive as it gets. We'll take just a momentary break and be right back for the bottom of the second inning. As we welcome you back here to the bottom of the second inning at Beckham Field in Carolina Softball Stadium, the Gamecocks lead at 4-1. Xander, what have you liked from them so far?
I mean, the runs. I mean, they started aggressive. I mentioned a couple times already this broadcast that it takes them a bit to get going. usually waiting until later in the game to get their first runs of the game. And they only had 1 run last game, but now they've got 4. They're in a great position at the bottom of the second, looking to extend that lead after 3 quick outs. I mean, defense and offense starting well.
I mean, it's the perfect marriage, and that's what you do if you're a great team. South Carolina, I think they definitely are, and they're really showing it for the first time this series on Sunday. So, you know, keep the foot down, keep the offense going, go out and take the series win. It's Emily Vincent batting. She squares around to bunt, but it will go foul down the first base line past a surging Percy Yamas charging down the line.
The last game I called was with Austin. Emily Vincent had a stellar game. She was playing left field with wind pushing that way, so she had must have been 4 outs. It was the only place that they were able to hit the ball.
It's always interesting to see, you know, especially if it's really windy, how it affects the game. Vincent steps back and swings this time, but again fouled down the first base line, a little late to the Lopez fastball. Again, we do have some wind right now. It's kind of blowing a little in and right to left. The 0-2, off speed. Got her looking, a great changeup from Lopez, and I think Vincent knew it, just a little too late to get the bat around.
Yeah, Lopez trying to pick up where Huacheño left off with those changeups and speed. Huacheño's not really working too well, and that's why we saw that pitching change. And Lopez is taking the opportunity and running with it almost.
Absolutely, as it brings up the leadoff hitter, Quincy Lelio, as she squares around and takes strike 1 in the first lefty-lefty matchup we've seen with Lopez in the circle. Lelio's 0 for 1 so far. She lined out to the shortstop Ryan Starr in the first. This pitch just a tad off the plate, and that'll even up our count here. And Xander Lelio's just an on-base monster, a .562 on-base percentage with a .438 batting average. She is just the perfect leadoff hitter. And she gets under this one and fouls it back.
She's a threat on both sides of the ball. We already saw her making a big play in center field. She's a great player. I mean, we mentioned all these players out here are great because they play in the SEC, but not a lot of people are dual-faceted, if you will.
Absolutely, and Lelio's speed contributes to that. That's why she's leading off, why she plays center, as Lopez, that time the breaky ball didn't even get to the plate, so the count is 2-2. Something about Lelio, I mean, is up there in on-base percentage in the nation, as this team as a whole is 20th in the country at .431. As they do a great combo of hitting and walking, as Lelio gets more of the ball, but still fouls it off.
In that last one, she had 2 hits and was walked once, so, I mean, that contributes to that high on-base percentage. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, very disciplined at bats for South Carolina, but, you know, in this one, turning up the aggression a little bit, and it's served them well so far. Again, they lead at 4-1, 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Lelio, good eye there, as that one way upstairs. We have a full count. You know, it's hard with those rise balls. They look like strikes, and then they just keep on raising up. So Lelio wisely didn't go. Lopez comes set. Now she comes home. Lelio fouls it off. And Xander, you can hear it in the South Carolina fans here, which there are a good amount of at Beckham Field, especially considering Gamecock women's basketball is playing for a national title right now. In the dugout, though, they're starting to get loud. These long at-bats can really get the fans in your own team fired up. The full count pitch, swing and a miss. Another changeup. That one beautiful from Lopez.
So it's like the broadcaster's curse there, Spencer.
Yeah, I'm sorry to Quincy Lelio. I definitely am responsible for that one. I'll take the blame, but a beautiful pitch from Lopez. Back-to-back strikeouts for her. It'll bring up Ariana Rhodey. Last time up, she singled down the first base line and came around to score South Carolina's first run of the game. Changeup. Missed for ball 1. That one mightily close to the zone. The lefty Lopez versus the righty Rhodey. Second pitch. That one off the plate as well. The count moves to 2-0. Lopez looking for her first strike of the AB. She finds it here with the fastball. After 2 straight bad off speeds, she settles back in.
Speaking things into existence today.
Should I start saying stuff about home runs and,
Dare I say?
more doubles? The 2-1 to Rhodey. Off speed. That one again outside. Hasn't quite found her spots in this at-bat. It's a hitter's count for Ariana Rhodey. Yet to add a long ball in this series. I'll toss it out there, Xander. I mean, here's to hoping. The 3-1 to Rhodey. Fastball grounded over to short, fielded by Starr. She fires to Yamas for the out. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the Rebels. Lopez picks up 2 Ks, and we will take a break. South Carolina leads at 4-1. Stick with us here on Student Gamecock Television. And welcome back to Beckham Field. Again, your Gamecocks lead it 4-1 as we enter the top of the 3rd inning. I'm Spencer Ball, joined by Xander Collins. We have got a good one here in what is a beautiful day for some softball. Jory Hurd still in the circle for South Carolina. She had an easy 2nd inning, just throwing 7 pitches, getting all 3 outs. And it'll bring up the 9-hole hitter for the Rebels. It's the center fielder, left-hander, Taylor Malvin. And the infield knows what's up. So does the outfield. I mean, this whole team expecting Malvin to slap hit. She had a single yesterday, so they are all playing in and shifted to the left. The first pitch, slapped foul. And yesterday, she hit a slap hit so hard it went through the legs of Chansey at third. Just a rocket off the bat. Looking to replicate. The 0-1. This one slapped almost in the Ole Miss dugout.
I haven't seen someone bat like this before.
Yeah, it's completely.
The mechanics are all out of whack.
Unique to softball, and speedsters do this, namely left-handed batters. You kind of run up in the box, try and make contact, and beat out the throw to first. As again, just trying to chop it down as she fouls another one off. 3 straight foul balls from Malvin. She's finding the contact, just hasn't put it into play. The 0-2 count. Hurd fires. Malvin just gets a piece of it. And would you believe me if I told you she fouled it off?
Yes, I would. Yeah,
that's all she's done so far in this one. Hurd tried to get her low in the zone that time, but Malvin has swung at everything. If I was Hurd, just throw about the worst pitch you can imagine and just see if she chases. You got a couple to work with. The 0-2. Did it get her on the outside? And they'll say Malvin went around. She's called out as she kind of, half swung. It'll be interesting to see if the Rebels use a challenge here.
Yeah, Chelsea Clark having to go to Lyndon Baptiste to see if that one crossed over. And they say yes.
Yeah, a 5-pitch caught looking K will bring up the top of the order for the Rebels. This is where the damage was done. It's Jaden Pone. Off-speed skips in the dirt for ball 1.
Trying something new.
Yeah, Pone got things started with a deep double to dead center field.
Absolutely smacked it.
Yeah, one hop to the wall, and then she came around to score on the double from Boutte. Drop ball. Good for strike 1, and that evens up the count. Pone has increased her average almost 20 points over the course of this series as she is just, I think she's been the Rebels' best player. She has been awesome for them. Fastball good for strike 2. Pone yet to swing the bat in this one. Hurd gets the signal, comes home with it. The off-speed just off the edge of the plate. The crowd wanted the call. Clark behind the dish doesn't give it. 2-2 is your count to the left-handed hitting Pone. She gets under it, slices it into shallow center. Shelton ranges back from second and makes a nice grab for the second out of the third.
Great play by Shelton. That was hitting in the middle of a lot of people. Good communication to say, you know what, I got this one.
Those are the hits that are often very frustrating. The ones that sometimes drop in between the infield and the outfield. No one can quite get there. Shelton, quick reaction, got there in time. 2 outs now for the right fielder, Lair Boutte. She has a double and an RBI. She's on top of that one as she rolls over it down the first base line and foul. Again, your Gamecocks lead it 4-1 here in the top of the third inning.
Ball change.
That's right, they're going to throw the ball back to the dugout. Hurd's got a fresh one. Pitch clock will reset. Boutte steps back in the box. And a cloud comes over us here, so we got some shade on the field. I'm sure, that's nice. And what's turned out to be a warm Columbia day. The changeup, good for strike 2. Hurd is really finding her spots right now.
Boutte up against the wall here now.
Yeah, looking for
Two
a back.
strikes, 2 outs.
And Hurd looking for a back-to-back 1-2-3 inning here. The 0-2 count. 2 outs. Hurd deals. It's driven into center field to the right of Lilia, right on the SC logo. Boutte around 1. She's got her second stand-up double of the afternoon. And if she could bat 9 straight times, the Rebels would put her,
They would.
They would. She has been excellent so far. 2 doubles. And again, it's the shift that's been problematic for South Carolina. Boutte, her first double, hit it to right where Knight normally would have been playing. Her second one, straight to center where Lilio normally would be playing.
Yeah. No better time than that to keep things alive for the Rebels. Maybe I spoke that into existence this time.
Maybe it was just plain bad luck for South Carolina, but even better hitting from Boutte. Got to give her a lot of credit as she's really piecing up these balls well. Now that brings up the 3-hole hitter. It's Aaliyah Benford, who got the win in yesterday's affair. She pitches and hits, so really impressive stuff. And it's going to be a circle visit for Ashley Chastain Woodard. Not sure if we'll see anything from it. We'll check the bullpen. And so far, nothing doing out there. But just to talk it over, Xander, I think this is a good timeout.
Absolutely. Because, they thought they were in a good position. They're starting to gain momentum in the batter's box, so maybe try to get a little cold there. And, we know that Ashley Chastain Woodard knows what she's doing. You could even look at her time at Ole Miss as the pitching coach there.
That's right.
Won the 2019 Pitching Coach of the Year award when they were en route to their super regional appearance. So that's something I've talked about all season, is that pitching experience is really rubbing off on this team, and we've seen great pitching performances today from both teams, but specifically South Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, all series long, the pitching's been good. There's been a real lack of offense, but at the same time, you've got to credit the pitching for that. As the meeting's over, Chastain Woodard heads back to the South Carolina dugout, and Hurd comes home. Binford's under it. It's golfed over to the shortstop, Blankenship. An easy grab for the third out. The Rebels leave one stranded at second base, and the Gamecocks hold on to their 4-1 lead. We're going to take a quick break. Stick with us here on Student Gamecock Television. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Beckham Field. Again, I'm Spencer Ball, joined by Xander Collins. As we are now in the bottom of the third inning. South Carolina leads Ole Miss 4-1, going for the series victory. It's a classic rubber match on a Sunday. And leading off the bottom of the third is Carly Shelton. She singled her last time up and came around to score in what was a big bottom of the first inning. It's still Lopez in the circle for the Rebels. And an always fun lefty-lefty matchup. Lopez winds off speed. Big whiff there from Shelton as that one just floated in the air.
Shelton looking to equal her hit tally from yesterday with a second one here.
Started off with two in a row, the 0-1. She waited back on it, pops it up into the fans. Almost had a nice play from a Gamecock fan.
Fans get a souvenir.
Yeah, that one kind of smacked the palm there, shake that one off.
I could hear it even through the headset.
Yeah, that one. Whew. But an 0-2 count to Shelton as we turn our attention back to the diamond and away from the fans. The 0-2 fastball down in the zone. 1-2 count for Shelton. Lopez has gone two straight off speed, followed by a fastball. And what's a pitcher's count right now? The 1-2. Off speed. Shelton drives this one. It's way back off the top of the wall in right center. She has a stand-up double, but that ball was rocketed right below the scoreboard.
Another example of being so close to a home run. I mean, they've been playing so well. That's so unlucky. It hits about the same height on the wall as it did for the first one that was robbed of going out.
Yeah, Lexi Winters, again, if you missed it, had the big 2 RBI double off the top of the wall in left field. This one much deeper out to right center. Looked like it was just going to clear the wall. It ended up hitting just about a foot or two below. But it's a leadoff double for Shelton, and that brings up Abigail Knight. She fouls off the first pitch. But the Gamecocks still hungry for runs. You love to see that.
Well, when they are getting hits, they are getting them way out there and out of the way of the players in the outfield. So a very prolific day in the batter's box so far.
Hey, the best thing you can do at the plate, hit it where they aren't. It's pretty simple. The 0-1 tonight. Drop ball high and outside. And got to give Carly Shelton a ton of praise. She waited back for the off-speed pitch, and we've seen Lopez go to that changeup before, but she sat back and then just drove it and almost drove it out of Beckham Field. We might see another pitching change here as we've got a circle meeting for Ole Miss. There is an arm getting active out there in the Ole Miss bullpen. It's Aaliyah Benford, yesterday's starter. She's not going to come into the game just yet, it appears. So Jamie Traskell's going to head back to the Rebel dugout. Again, your Gamecocks lead at 4-1. Carly Shelton's on second after her leadoff double in this bottom of the third inning. It's a 1-1 count to Abigail Knight, who just re-steps into the box. And we'll get back to some softball. The 1-1 from Lopez. Fastball. Good for strike two. It's always really interesting to see how a pitcher does after they get a circle visit. You know, it's sometimes you keep struggling, you settle back in. Lopez definitely did the latter there. That was maybe her best fastball of the day.
And we saw it, too, in the last inning.
The 1-2. Caught looking. That one looked a little low in the zone. Knight's not happy, and neither are the Gamecock coaches or the fans. But nonetheless, it's out number one. It's the third strikeout of the afternoon for Brianna Lopez, and brings up the third baseman for the Gamecocks, Ella Chansey, who's 0 for 1, popped out in foul territory on the first base side. She swings at the first pitch, lines it just to the left of the third base, and foul. I like that from Chansey, though, attacking the first pitch.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that's how attacking these counts early is how these runs have come in for South Carolina, so she's looking to continue that here, and I don't mind it either.
And me and Dakota were talking, you know, she was a former softball player in yesterday's game, about how sometimes the first pitch is the best one you're going to see. And some players automatically take one. I was always a swing at the first pitch guy because, you know, changeup drops right into the zone, the 0-2 there. If you get aggressive early, sometimes, you know, pitchers think you aren't going to swing. Not to by any means suggest I was a good baseball player. That dream ended at 12. But again, you know, I had my moments.
Well, I mean, you got to feel the pitcher out, so sometimes they're trying to feel you out, and you can surprise them by just swinging.
100% is Chansey. Slices this one for an easy out to the second baseman, Mackenzie Pickens. Settled under that one, as now it's 2 outs, and it brings up Lexi Winters. She was responsible for the almost grand slam. It was a 2 RBI double off the top of the wall, and kind of off all of those numbers of, you know, tournament appearances for South Carolina. Yeah. It reached like 2003 up at the very top of the left field wall. She's got a runner on second looking for her 3rd RBI of the day. She watches strike one go by. It's a fastball on the outside portion of the zone. Brooke Blankenship is on deck, also responsible for 2 RBI herself. As the Gamecocks look to add to their lead, as that one a fastball outside, and the count's evened up at 1-1. 2 outs. Shelton on second. Again, South Carolina 4-1 here at Beckham Field.
Lexi Brady really tried to sell that one.
I've noticed she does that throughout the series. If she doesn't like the call, she'll just hold the glove out. The 1-1. No selling that one.
Yeah.
Fastball way outside. This home crowd starting to get into it a little bit. It's the 2-1 count to Winters. Lopez comes home. Winters under it. The outfielders will go back, but Boutte settles under it in right center field for out number 3. The Gamecocks also leave a runner stranded at second, same as the Rebels, as we're going to move into the top of the 4th inning, but not before a quick break. Stick with us here on SGTV. South Carolina has the lead 4-1 now as we like to welcome you back to Beckham Field. We saw this yesterday as well as we get some coaches' interviews. So although the timer in center field has run out, Jory Hurd is just kind of left standing in the circle until that concludes. But we'll tell you who's leading off this top of the fourth inning for the Rebels. It's the cleanup hitter, Percy Yamas. Xander, since that first inning, Jory Hurd has been really excellent.
Yeah, I was about to say that it was a very energetic start for both sides, especially in the box. But things kind of gone cold, but that's a testament to the talented pitchers that are in the circle today, especially Jory Hurd, who, like you said, has been incredible. Nobody really able to get anything done. There was a double, and I think the second
yeah, last inning in the top of the third, there was another double, but again, she's worked pretty well.
Because right after that, Chastain Woodard goes in, has a talk with her, pop ball comes out in the very next pitch, and then they get back.
That was that.
On offense, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. You want to turn over this lineup as quick as you can, give the Rebels pitchers as little time as possible to rest up. And the first pitch to Yamas. Grounded over to second. Shelton fields it cleanly, tosses to Rhodey. A one pitch out, and you talk about quick innings. That's a start.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the 1, 2, 3 innings for the Gamecocks. Had 2 in a row. I mean, it could very well be 3 now.
Yeah, really just working quick and keeping that pitch count low. She's only thrown 38 pitches so far, and as someone who's eaten innings all year long, if Jory Hurd keeps up this pace, it's probably her game to lose. Mm-hmm. She misses outside to Lexi Brady, who's 0 for 1 on the day, but a very, very dangerous hitter. As you see, Jory Hurd, in her appearances against Brady yesterday, was a little afraid to throw into the zone against her because of the power she possesses. 12 long balls on the year, and that one would have been one, but it tails foul off the roof of one of the track buildings in left field. Goodness.
Almost took a brick out of the building.
Yeah, we've got, South Carolina. We've got one of our favorites as Mr. Flagman out there. I don't necessarily know a name for him, but a faithful. Been here all 3 games. Swing and a miss on the curveball from Hurd for strike 2.
I've looked over there a couple times in this one, and he's really getting into it, and I love it.
He's got a big old South Carolina flag for the fans at home, just waving it the whole time. I mean, he's wearing long sleeves. I bet he's jacked under there. 1-2. Off speed just a tad outside. Winters tried to frame it, but Clark wasn't buying it. The 2-2 now to Brady. Hurd gets the signal. Takes a breath. Now she comes home with it. Fastball, low in the zone. Fill her up. The count is full.
What are you expecting here?
You got a big whiff on the off-speed pitch. Let's see it here. The payoff pitch. It was a fastball. Brady fouled it back into the netting. I mean, there's a reason I am in the booth and doing nothing even remotely athletic. This is my connection to sports.
Yeah.
But, no, it's always tough because it's entirely mental. The mind game of what are you going to throw? What do you
think?
It's like
rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, what do you think she thinks you're going to throw?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the 3-2. Grounded up the middle. Shelton again fields it. Clean throw over to first. 2 straight outs and 2 straight ground outs to Carly Shelton.
Yeah, I like what you said earlier about Jory Hurd. She lets the defense work. She let that hit go off because she knew that they were going to be able to handle it.
Yeah, and with a 4-1 lead, even if you have a mistake and Brady, if that home run was straightened out,
it was pretty close.
Again, it's still a 4-2 game, but throw your pitches. Don't adapt your game too much. As again, Jory Hurd very successful, just like there, getting a swing and miss from Mackenzie Pickens on the first pitch of her second at bat.
Taking your advice of swinging on the first pitch.
Well, didn't execute it that time, but
yeah.
I like the sentiment. The 0-1 off speed, that one way down.
Maybe she heard you.
Yeah, it's, I just like that both teams are trying to be a little more aggressive, going out and trying to win this series. And
because did you call the first 2 in this series?
I've been here all 3. I was on color Friday, but play-by-play for the last 2, and rise ball way high over the head of Pickens, but thankfully not too dangerous either for her.
Because I was going to say, I mean, this game's probably been just as exciting as the last two combined.
And they were exciting because they were close, but we just hadn't seen much offense. But both of the teams have very capable hitters, so it's nice to see them really get going here. Fastball from Hurd. Doesn't get the call. The count moves to 3-1, and the fans not happy with that one.
And I haven't been a softball fan for very long, but I do respect the defensive battles that South Carolina has been in this season because they're very fun to watch.
And South Carolina defensively is one of the premier teams in the nation as Pickens fouls that one off the netting. Again, another full count now. As a team, they are 5th in fielding percentage, 982. Very few errors this team commits, and that is – winning teams don't commit errors. And South Carolina is a winning team. They're so winning, they're going for their 30th win here today. And the series win against Ole Miss. This one golfed into center. Lilio dives, but it hits the grass first. It's going to be a single from Mackenzie Pickens, but a great effort from Quincy Lilio.
So unlucky. Bounced just before it got to her.
And that's a dangerous play. You know, you lay out for that one. If that one hopped over her glove, Pickens is probably at second or third.
That's when you spend a few extra bucks to get that glove in green.
That's you might be right. Blend in with the grass and, you know, make Ole Miss burn a challenge.
Yeah.
But now it's a runner on first for the third baseman, Angelina De Leon, back up to the plate. First pitch right down Main Street from Hurd.
I like that.
Hey, thank you. You got to try and mix it up.
Yeah.
But De Leon popped up to Carly Shelton her last time out on the first pitch, so she's a true believer in the first pitch swing. As she swings on the second one, fouls it up and out of play as she's late on a Hurd fastball.
I think she just likes to swing in general.
Yeah, and that's, you know, you love to see it. More exciting if batters are up there just trying to let it rip. Again, Ole Miss trails 4-1 here. They've got Mackenzie Pickens on first after her 2-out single. Hurd trying to send us to the bottom of the fourth. De Leon stays alive with another foul ball.
Almost another souvenir for the crowd.
Yeah, just.
And they deserve it. I mean, they could very well be at home watching the Natty.
Go home with a prize.
Yeah,
a fun yellow ball.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
And
like,
hopefully a Gamecock win. In both sports, of course. The 0-2. Off speed, up high. Winters does a good job of reacting quickly to grab that one.
And if you guys were relying on us to tell you the score of the game.
Xander, do the honors.
Gamecocks down by 10 at halftime. Second half should be coming up very shortly.
We'll keep you updated. The 1-2 golfed into center field. Lilio easily under it. And just like that, Ole Miss's top of the fourth inning is over. Again, Gamecocks lead it 4-1. We will take a quick break and be right back with you in just a moment. we're back here at Beckham Field. Again, South Carolina leads at 4-1, and they're going to look to add to it here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Leading off this half is Brooke Blankenship, followed by Natalie Heath and Emily Vincent. It's 7, 8, and 9. Xander, South Carolina offense, they really got after it in the bottom of the first, but they've been showing signs of adding to it, just haven't quite gotten in the run column. What do you think they need to extend their lead here?
Well, I said it at the bottom of the second or third, I believe. It all comes from the aggression that they're showing early on those counts. I think that both teams, I think when they swing early, it leads to something, because why would you want to wait to swing when you can get on the board?
That's right, and especially if it's a good one. Don't waste your time. If you see a good pitch, go out and attack. South Carolina has done a great job of that. Again, looking to add to their 3-run lead here, give Jory Hurd and the rest of this pitching staff a little bit more run support. It never hurts. As Ashley Chastain Woodard's SEC interview is all over, and we will get to some softball. As the Rebel infield heads back to their positions, it's going to be lefty-righty Lopez versus Blankenship in the bottom of the fourth. Blankenship was the first batter that Lopez faced, and it was a 2 RBI single from Blankenship that just touched down on this first base foul line. See if she can pick up her second hit of the day. First pitch of the frame from Lopez. Misses outside for a ball.
I'm wondering, Spencer, if we'll see another pitching change or if they'll go with Lopez for the rest of it.
You know, it's going to be interesting. We saw Binford warming up. She did throw over 100 pitches yesterday, so we'll see. With the 1-0, Blankenship under it, fouled off down the first base line and out of play, so maybe someone's got a souvenir over there. Nice catch. So someone caught it, so good play to a fan out in the right field stands. 1-1 is your count. But again, Lopez, although she gave up that 2 RBI single to Blankenship, she technically has no earned runs, as it was nothing of that were on her. All of those belong to Miley Wachenia, who's the starter tonight. Blankenship under this one. This one's playable. Boutte racing in at right. Has to speed up a little bit, but makes the catch in foul territory for out number 1. Brings up Natalie Heath. Her last time up, she grounded out to the shortstop to end that big first inning. But again, she's been known to have some clutch moments. Has been known to have some power. The first pitch she sees. Off speed outside, ball 1. The 1-0 now from Lopez. This one good for a strike. She bounces back with a fastball right down the middle. So again, we've got a really good crowd, Xander. I think we were both a little surprised.
No, I'm very, very surprised.
Again, not because of Gamecock softball, but of course because there is a very important women's basketball game going on as the 1-1.
Yeah, I think things are going a lot better in Columbia than they are in Tampa right now, unfortunately.
They are. You know, we are hopefully going to be a part of, you know, at least one win here. And if women's basketball completes the comeback, we might make our way to the Fountain. So maybe we'll see out there. This is the 2-1. Drop ball again upstairs. Lopez struggling to find her spots against Heath. And it's a hitter's count for Big Bat Nat.
Is that something you came up with, or is that?
I wish I could take credit for that, but I'm certainly going to use it, you know. Again, 13 of her 23 hits go for extras. She does check her swing and went around on that one, and the count is full for number 21.
See if she can use some of that power you were talking about.
Yeah, it was a high fastball there from Lopez, and Heath, I think, was a little late. Here's the offering. Fastball. Hidden to right field. Boutte goes back on the line. Makes another nice catch out in foul territory just a few steps in from the warning track.
Boutte's had to make a couple of plays out there as those go foul, but up for the challenge.
Yeah, and that was I would say, pretty nice contact from Heath. Just unfortunately found a Rebel glove, but again, she just got a little too under it. If that was lined out to right, might have a runner on first, but nonetheless, it'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, Emily Vinson. 2 outs, a 4-1 Gamecock lead. Vinson swings it, lines it into left. Pone takes a couple steps and makes the easy grab. South Carolina still has their 4-1 lead here. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back in the top of the 5th inning. We're over halfway done here on Student Gamecock Television. Gamecocks still have a 4-1 lead as we enter the top of the 5th inning. Thanks for hanging out with us again. I'm Spencer Ball, joined by Xander Collins. Just our second broadcast together. It's always fun.
Yeah, the first one on the actual SGTV channel. We had the creative channel last time.
That's right. We got the boot. I think there was a hockey game going on, so we were on the second channel with clip-on mics. It was certainly something. I'll tell you that much.
A lot of mics and special set-piece plays designed by the Kentucky men's soccer team.
I was cutting that up for my reel the other day to some heartbreaking stuff.
Yeah.
As the Rebels have a pinch hitter in, it's Rachel Connors, and she'll watch strike one go right by. Connors pinch hitting for the shortstop, Ryan Starr. She bats .333 on the year, but only 6 ABs, so she's 2 for 6. Not bad for the freshman. Strike two, right down the pipe. Didn't even waver bad as that one was a good-looking pitch.
Gotta think she'll probably try to swing soon.
I mean, she's got to play defensive now with 2 strikes. Hurd fire, swing and a miss. She did swing. She didn't get anything.
Well, you got to think that they're going to want to try to claw back as soon as possible. Only 3 innings left in this one, so.
And how they got a run across yesterday, it started here with Taylor Malvin, the 9-hole hitter, followed up by Jaden Pone, just getting runners on base. And then Lair Boutte has been the real star of the night. 2 doubles and an RBI, drove in the only Ole Miss run. Malvin slaps it over to second. Shelton Fields flips for out number 2, a 1-pitch out.
I understand what you were saying now with that interesting way of going at the ball, because she was halfway to the first base when the ball got to the infielder's hands.
And her and Pone are very similar. That's why they're batting 9 and 1, because if you both successfully do it, it's 2 runners, and they're both quick, followed by some power bats. So it makes a lot of sense. That one just didn't go Malvin's way. Usually you want to hit it to the left side of the infield to make for a longer throw. But nonetheless, it's the leadoff hitter, Jaden Pone. Good eye there. She watches ball 1 miss outside.
And that's the reason she starts the lineup. She's very smart, very patient in the box.
Yeah, and Lexi Winters is going to come out to the circle to talk with Jory Hurd and the left side of the infield. And it makes sense. Again, Pone's been giving South Carolina fits all series long. She's got a double today. It's not quite night, but that's how you know, the Rebels started off this game, the offense has since cooled by a large margin.
Yes.
Couple sporadic hits, but no runs since the first for either squad. We saw offense for a moment, Xander.
Well,
it was beautiful.
I don't even think it's that the offenses are struggling. I think it's the defenses are so stellar.
You're right, the 1-0. This one lined into center field. Lilio runs to her left for a pretty easy catch. A very fast top of the 5th inning in a 1-2-3 as Hurd is working quickly. And again, to your credit, this Gamecock defense and the Rebel defense have both been at the top of their game so far today. We'll see if the South Carolina offense can get back to its first inning form in just a moment. Stick with us. Thanks for hanging out with us. We've got the top of the order coming up for South Carolina in this bottom of the 5th inning. Gamecocks lead it still 4-1. That was our score after the first. Still our score through 4.5 innings.
And don't misunderstand this game at all. It has not been a boring one, despite the scoreline in the 4.5 innings since the runs were scored.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm, you know, personally as a baseball and softball fan, I love a good pitching duel. We saw 2 really good ones the last couple of days, but, you know, definitely some missed opportunities on the offensive end. I think both teams have done a better job converting. We'll look to do so going forward.
And both teams have left people stranded on bases going into the next half innings. So, I mean, it's not like they're short of chances.
Absolutely. As we've seen 9 hits so far today, that is a lot more than we've seen the last couple days. There were a lot more walks, so both teams swinging a little more. Is Lilio. Starts it off with a 2-0 count. Lopez still in the circle for Ole Miss. Wasn't sure if they were going to make a change, but sticking with the lefty, and it's paid off for him so far.
And speaking of the walks, Chelsea Clark is doing a great job umpiring this game. There have been very, very few pitches that I've disagreed with, and got it right on that one that had to go to review when we thought it had hit someone on the shoulder, but it came off the end of the bat. So
she has been really good, and it has been a little refreshing. You know, earlier in the series, especially the Friday games, we saw head coach Jamie Traskell get in the face of the home plate umpire, and, you know, you just like to see it fair for both teams. It definitely feels like it's been that, and it's been very accurate, I would say. You know, again, that's from our viewpoint and opinion, but just want to give props where it's due as a 3-0 pitch goes down the middle for Lilio. Here's the 3-1 now. Off speed. Misses for ball 4. Was waiting on the signal there, but Clark was just walking to the side. It's a 5-pitch walk for Quincy Lilio, her first time on base today. I think that one was a close miss from Lopez. I think a good 3-1 pitch, but again, Lilio over 30 walks on the season. This is what she does.
Yeah, we mentioned how good she is.
And the only person with more walks than Lilio is our current batter. Ariana Rhodey has 37 on the night and has a single so far in this one.
Yeah, she's looking to get on base for the second time today, this afternoon, tonight, whatever
whatever I accidentally
yeah,
say.
Wherever we are at.
Yeah, the fastball misses outside. 1-0 count now to the righty power hitter. She's got a runner on first. It's just about 4:30, so I'd say that's a firm afternoon. Rhodey lines it to the third baseman. A good catch from De Leon, and Lilio slides back to first, but it's a line out for the first out of the inning.
De Leon thought about trying to throw to first, but to no avail.
Yeah, Lilio heads up was just already pretty much back to the bag. Unfortunate for Rhodey, just didn't quite get it under it enough to get it over the head of the infield.
Because had it gone just a little bit higher, it would have been right down the baseline.
It could have been a
field.
double. That would have been a problematic area as it brings up Carly Shelton. She rips this one into left field. It's her third hit of the game. 2 singles and a double now for the Gamecocks second baseman. What a game. What a series for Carly Shelton. And Xander, it goes back. That was the first pitch.
Yeah.
Just stepped in, drove it right, past Star at short. 3 hits. I mean, how good is Carly Shelton?
I mean, if the viewers learn anything today, they should learn to swing on the first pitch.
Take it from a wise 22-year-old, I fear.
Ball don't lie.
We're hearing this loudly. Rise ball misses high for Abigail Knight. She's 0 for 1 with a walk so far in her game this afternoon. She's got 2 runners on, though. 1 at first, 1 at second. That's Shelton and Lilia, respectively. There's 1 out, and South Carolina has a 4-1 lead, but a chance to add more here. Off speed again, upstairs. 2-0 is your count. Lopez gets the signal. She winds. She fires. Knight gets under it. Golfed into left field. Pone races back. Makes the catch. Lilio's going to tag. Pone thought about throwing. Faked it. And Lilio's in at third. So Knight flies out to deep left center field. But it's far enough for Lilio to advance. And Xander Pone pump faked the throw. And then Lilio just ran and would have been maybe a closer play at third, but again, Lilio's a speedster.
Well, that's the smart player that Lilio is, has a high IQ, high softball IQ. Thought, I'm halfway there, might as well try and get it.
Yeah, that's right, and you got runners on the corners now. 2 outs for Ella Chansey. She's 0 for 2 today. Has 25 RBIs on the season. A single will certainly add to it here. The first pitch, off speed. Beautiful drop ball there from Lopez. You could see Chansey wanted to go, just didn't quite commit.
I mean, she wanted to swing in that first pitch. I mean, I'm hearing that's the cool thing to do now.
That's, I'm mic'd up in the South Carolina dugout. I'm saying, hey, God, swing at the first pitch.
Yeah.
Make me look cool. The 0-1. Chansey squares around to bunt.
Well, everybody can't do it, or else they'd know it's a strategy.
Exactly. You got to pick your spots. As Chansey called for strike 2 there, she squared around to bunt, but didn't get anything. While that happened, Carly Shelton did advance to second base. So 2 runners in scoring position. Xander, again, a single would do wonders.
Yeah.
The 0-2 now. Lopez fires. Off the arm of Chansey. No doubt about it this time. It was her earlier in the game that went off the butt of the bat. This time, it's off that well-placed elbow guard.
Lexi Winters in a great position here to almost wrap this game up.
With 1 swing of the bat, she almost had a grand slam in the first inning. And wouldn't you know it, she has another chance here. Bases loaded, 2 outs. We've seen this before. It resulted in a double off the tip top of the wall in left field. This time, though, she's not facing Miley Wichenio. It's Brianna Lopez. Her last time up, she flew out to right center field. That was her first AB against Lopez. They're having a quick meeting at the circle, her and Brady.
That's on their mind as well as ours. The last time she was in this position.
And the sun rears his head, so, anything to stop Lexi Winters, I guess.
Yeah.
Ole Miss manipulating the weather, I think. Again, bases are juiced. 2 outs. Gamecocks lead it 4-1 in the bottom of the 5th inning, and 1 swing of the bat could add to that lead in a heartbeat. Lopez gets the sign. She comes home. Change up, good for strike 1. Looks like Winters wasn't expecting that.
No.
That's the power that, changing your pace. She was probably looking for a fastball. You could see her kind of hitch a little. Definitely couldn't get the bat around. The 0-1. Fastball down and away.
That was way outside.
Yeah, good job from the catcher, Brady. She's been good all afternoon at not letting really anything by her. She had one go off her glove, which advanced the runners, but outside of that, I mean, she's been really good with, sometimes having some questionable pitches thrown her way. The 1-1. Winters is under it. Back goes Malvin, and she will make the play in right center field. Again, a couple steps in front of the warning track in right. Gamecocks still lead at 4-1, but they leave the bases stranded as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Stick with us here on Student Gamecock Television. You don't want to miss the end of this one. Welcome back here to Beacon again. The Gamecocks still hold a 4-1 lead in the top of the 6th inning now. Only 2 innings left for Ole Miss to try and get back in this one. It's still Joy Hurd in the circle, but it's the most dangerous Rebel hitter on the night. It's Lair Boutte. 2 doubles for her. Swing and a miss. She wanted to add another to her total, but Hurd just fanned one right by her.
And in the last inning, things could have gotten a lot more ugly for the Rebels. We're able to escape with 3 runners on base and Lexi Winters up to bat, so they've done well there all night defensively.
I mean, again, for both teams, outside of the first inning, both teams are pitching shutouts. It's 4-1, the same as it was after the first, so both defenses have come to play. The pitching has really settled in, and it's a 1-1 count now to Boutte. She squares around to butt. Chansey races in, fires to first. A good heads-up play from Ella Chansey.
Ella Chansey kind of struggling at the plate today, but not necessarily in the outfield.
Yeah, she's put together some good swings, just hasn't quite had anything go her way, but sometimes that's the beautiful part of being in the field. You get some plays under your belt, you go make a nice defensive play, give yourself a little personal momentum coming into your next at-bat. It'll bring up the designated player, Aaliyah Benford, who's 0 for 2 today. Fastball right down the middle. Benford didn't swing at it. That's one that, yesterday she turned on a first pitch, sent it out to deep left center for a double, and that was one of the deciding factors in a 2-1 ball game.
I mean, just planted in the dirt on these first couple of pitches.
Yeah, curveball there. Just missed outside, but you're absolutely right. As Benford it didn't seem like she was looking to swing, but we'll see what she does now. The 1-1 with 1 out. Definitely wouldn't swing at that one. It was a rise ball about at her eye level.
Had to kind of
those are always the the scary ones. And also sometimes you swing at those as a hitter because you're like, well, it looks good because it's coming right at your eyes. You're like, I can see the ball. The 2-1 fouled right back into the netting. She liked that one, just couldn't quite get a bat clean on it.
And that'll even up her count.
Yep, it's 2-2, 1 out. Again, South Carolina with a 3-run lead. The total score being 4-1. Looking for the series win. The 2-2. Staying alive is Binford, another foul ball.
If Austin were in the booth, he would have flinched at that one. he did it like 4 times when we were on the call together.
It's a pretty big net, you know. It's quite tall, about as tall as this whole, you know, upper level of the press box. It'd have to really catch an odd angle and somehow get to us, but I think we're safe, Sanders. The 2-2 now to Binford.
Well, also,
Well
I
in the zone.
wouldn't let the ball hit you.
Well, thank you, Xander. You're a good guy for that. I mean, I would just catch it, but I really tried to. I say that like I'd probably like fumble it, knock over the camera, pull off our mixing board, and something horrible would happen. But the payoff pitch, grounded hard to Chansey. She fields, fires. Out number 2 is recorded, and Ella Chansey's responsible for both of them.
Yeah, Ella Chansey's redemption tour is starting out pretty well.
Yeah, shout out to the people that had tickets. I mean, it's a good time to be an Ella Chansey believer. She's been really solid at third base all year and has been a great hitter. You know, maybe hasn't been her series, but by no means should that
a series doesn't make
bring
the
her
season.
down. Absolutely not. Hey, Barry Bonds struggled in a 3-game split before. Fastball called strike for Percy Yama. She's 0 for 2 today. Again, hasn't quite been her best series. Looking to get something going, not just for herself, but for the Rebels. Again, they trail by 3 now in the top of the 6th. This fastball misses outside, evens up our count at 1-1. Hurd's been dealing. Looks for her second straight 1-2-3 inning. It's a 1-2 now. Fastball high. 2-1 is your count. And again, Hurd's done a really good job of navigating kind of how to pitch against this Ole Miss heart of the lineup. It's really tough. There's about 6 batters that bat over 300 for this Rebel offense. And Hurd is trying to navigate the storm as Yamas barrels one up. It touches down in right field. She's headed for 2. Knight throws it in to Shelton. But Yamas has a 2-out double, and the Rebels trying to claw something back in the top of the 6th.
When this continues to happen, for both teams, they're backed up against the count. They make something happen. They find a way to do it.
Yeah, a lot of 2-out success for both squads, as you mentioned, as there is going to be a pinch runner for Ole Miss. Number 10, Star Ferguson checks in. She's going to be the new runner at second. Ashley Chastain Woodard has come out.
Talking to Jacob Aggie.
Yeah, somebody's out there in the pen. Not quite sure, but they're going to have a bit of an umpire meeting here. We're going to let you know what we hear. Aggie's going to give over the feedback to our head official for the entire series. That's been Chelsea Clark. You know, she has the comms on her and things like that. So she's going to come over, talk to Chastain Woodard.
Don't know what that was all about.
Yeah, I guess, just nothing happened. I'm not quite sure if it was what exactly was going on, but we'll lock back into some softball. Again, Jory Hurd still in the circle. There's a runner on second after a double by Percy Yamas. And I hate to lie to you guys, but Chastain Woodard has now called a timeout. It's going to be a circle visit. Unsure why there was a timeout, a break, or then looked like we were going back and then another timeout. But, hey.
No clue.
Maybe kind of an ice the batter situation for Lexi Brady. Don't want her to get too comfortable up there because we saw one that went foul, but with one swing of the bat, this could be a one-run ball game.
Yeah, it went to our friend with the flag over by the track.
Yeah, he threw it back into the bullpen. A nice guy returning the softball. And, again, a big Gamecock fan, so a big shout out to him out there.
I think I've seen him at one of the football games.
Yeah, he's been at baseball. I've seen that before. So, it's cool to see the support, not just from him, but from everyone here at Beckham Field and from everyone at home. So thanks for tuning in to it. Again, I'm Spencer Ball. He's Xander Collins, and we will finally get back to softball. Lexi Brady at the dish. Runner on
third
second.
time's a charm.
That's right. Again, South Carolina, a 4-1 lead. Ole Miss trying to cut into it. The first pitch to Brady. Fastball. Just a hair high, ball one. Mackenzie Pickens is on deck for the Rebels. She's also been a really talented freshman. Brady fouls this one back into the netting, and the count's evened up at 1. That was one where I could understand you flinching, because if the net wasn't there, that might have sliced up and cut the lights out in our room.
Nah, not on my watch.
No, come on. Yeah, he's a Gold Glover up here. Tell you what, I would not want to be on the receiving end of a Lexi Brady line drive. That would
Absolutely not.
you're after that one, you're in the dugout, making sure your hand's all right. The 1-1.
I wouldn't even want a softball tossed lightly to me.
It's an odd-shaped ball, most very different to any other sports. As Brady watch ball too.
Anything but soft as well.
Yeah,
and whoever named that just got it completely wrong.
Not sure how that came to be, Xander, but I'll take it up with whoever found it. Hurd's going to step off and call timeout. A 2-1 count for the catcher, Lexi Brady. The runner on second is Star Ferguson. She subbed in for Percy Amos after her 2-out double to right. The 2-1 coming home. Good for strike 2. Winters is fired up. One heck of a pitch there for Hurd. The fans getting into it here. Deuces are wild. 2-2 count. 2 outs. Hurd winds, deals, off speed. Doesn't get the call. The count runs full, and that one the fans are not too pleased with.
No. And maybe they have a better angle than us, but.
That's a close one.
Yeah,
that's really close. Just on the inside part of the zone. Called a ball. We'll see if we get a payoff. Payoff pitch hits Brady up and in off the arm. Not the way Hurd drew it up, as now the tying run comes to the plate for the Rebels. We'll see. We do have an arm in the Gamecock bullpen. Can't quite make out the number there, but of course we'll let you know if something happens. Hurd still in the circle, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Mackenzie Pickens. 1 for 2 on the day with a single. And there should.
Well, that goes back to what you were saying way early in the broadcast, Spencer. The longer that these counts go, the more likely a pitcher is to make a mistake. That one kind of dragging on for a little bit. We've seen it ends up hitting the batter.
Yeah, it's a great AB from Brady. She's done a good job all series long, getting these long at-bats, making the pitcher work for it. And there's going to be another pinch runner for the Rebels. Seems to be number 25, Tinley Grisham at first. And that is going to do it for Jory Hurd's afternoon. After 5 2/3 innings, Jory Hurd gives up 1 earned run, 5 hits. She is responsible for the 2 runners on base at first and second. But it brings up Sam Gress. And Xander, Gress has had a bit of unfortunate luck this series. After throwing 7 2/3 shutout innings on Friday, Jory Hurd comes in and gets the official win in the book after getting the final out of the game. But Sam Gress gets the loss yesterday after only giving up 1 run. So, it's a tough situation for her. But if you've been here at Beckham Field, or if you've been tuned in to SGTV from home, she has been outstanding this series.
Well, I also think that while players probably do pay attention to their individual statistics, I think that they care more about the win column than they do the specific win-loss to a pitcher.
You're absolutely right, and it's a committee. The whole pitching rotation, doesn't matter who it is. The young players that don't necessarily get a ton of action, they're learning from great pitchers in the Premier Softball Conference.
And what I've noticed with this team this season is that with so many newcomers to the team, the culture is so fresh, but it's also they love each other. You could tell that this is a team, and it seems like they've been together a lot longer than they have been. And with that comes a winning mentality, and they want to get it done no matter what way they want to get it done. And we've seen that, especially early in the season. They found lots of ways to win. lots of different ways to win close games, and that's a testament to the community that this team has built.
With a lot of transfers, too. It's very
Yeah.
impressive. First-year head coach, a lot of players from all over, and they've come together and meshed extremely well. And, I mean, right now they're positioned to host a regional, which is something South Carolina softball, I'm not sure the last time they've done it, Xander, but I know it hasn't happened while I've been on campus.
Yeah.
You know, while Sam Grass finishes up talking with the circle after a warm-up, will you let the fans know how the basketball game's going?
Do I have to? I mean,
it's our civic duty, Xander.
Yeah, I'll do it. Just about, or the fourth quarter's just started in Tampa. UConn leads 65-42.
It's not looking good, but again, still some ball left to be played, and we're going to get back to softball here, where things do look a little bit better for South Carolina. They lead it 4-1. They've got 2 outs, runners on first and second. Sam Gress in the circle. Mackenzie Pickens in the batter's box. Curveball. Good for strike 1, and Gress starts off with a pitch that just freezes Pickens. The 0-1 pitch. Pickens gets under it. It drops into right field. Knight racing in. She fumbles with it. A run's going to score. And it's an RBI single from Mackenzie Pickens. And that's not the first time today or in the series she's gotten one of those bloops to fall for her.
Got ourselves a game again. Not that it hasn't been close this whole time. That first inning kind of an outlier with how close it's been.
Absolutely, and it finally deadlocks the scoring, though. It's been 4-1 since the first. Now it's 4-2. South Carolina still wins. But, I mean, things are getting a little dicey. That was Star Ferguson who came around to score, the pinch runner. It's Tinley Grisham who got all the way to third. So runners on the corners, 2 outs, and we do have a pinch hitter for Ole Miss. It's not the first time we've seen her either. It's Taylor Roman coming up to bat. It's a power pinch hitter for the Rebels. I looked at the roster, Xander. Taylor Roman is 6'1", and you just got a feeling if she gets a hold of one, this game could be flipped in the matter of a moment. I mean, she fouls that one back.
But I definitely saw the potential there. That one, high velocity swing.
Yeah, and again, you know, she has 10 hits on the season and just 40 at-bats. 5 of them have been extra base hits. She's got 1 homer. Runners on the corners here at the 0-1 with 2 outs. Fastball low and in. Count moves to 1-1. And again, that earned run does belong to Jory Hurd. So far, she has 2 earned. And her last possible one is on third. That's Tinley Grisham. Gress comes set. Now she comes home with the 1-1. Down and in again to Roman. Clearly, she doesn't want to give her anything too good.
Oh, no. Not with two players on base.
Yeah, and Gress also, I think Hurd is more of a velocity pitcher. Gress is a junk pitcher. You know, she's got a good fastball, but she can really mix it up. The 2-1, grounded over to third. Chancey Fields cleanly fires to first. A huge play from Ella Chancey. Gets the Gamecocks out of the 6th with minimal damage.
Yeah, it seems like that's just the story of each inning. Both teams so close to breaking that deadlock. Ole Miss finally does it.
In all 3 outs.
Yeah.
Ella Chancey ground outs to the third baseman. So really great playing over there from Chancey. And you're right. It's right now, as of late, it's been a story of what ifs.
Yeah.
And, you know, Ole Miss doesn't quite capitalize, but they do claw one back. South Carolina is still in the lead, 4-2. We'll be back after a quick break with the bottom of the 6th. we are in the bottom of the 6th inning. South Carolina with a 4-2 lead. Ole Miss cut the lead to just 2 runs in the top of the 6th, adding 1 to their total. South Carolina looking to get a little bit more insurance here with their 7, 8, and 9 hitters up. It's Brooke Blankenship, Natalie Heath, and Emily Vinson. Still Brianna Lopez on the mound for the Rebels. The first pitch of the inning from Lopez. Well high for ball 1.
Our trend is going out of style.
You know, haven't been a lot of good first pitches lately, I'll say it. I'll defend the hitters here. The 1-0. Fouled back into the netting. Counts evened up to 1-1. Again, Xander. South Carolina going for the series win. So far on the season, 5-1 in series against ranked opponents. The only loss to number 2 Oklahoma, and all of those games were by one run on the road.
The closest sweep as you can get.
Yeah, that's.
I think a lot of people didn't have very high expectations for this team. Thought it would be kind of a rebuilding year, but the only thing they're doing is building on last year's success.
That's right. And again, Ashley Chastain Woodard, we cannot credit her enough for what she's done, as now it's a 1-2 count to Blankenship. Fastball away. 2-2 now is your count.
And this game would mean a lot for the Gamecocks season to get their 30th win in a game that sees them take a series in conference play would just be incredible for, I'm sure, morale, but also for the record.
That's right. It's the 2-2 to Blankenship. She grounds it hard over to the third. It gets through the infield into left field. It's a 2-strike single for Brooke Blankenship, her second hit of the night. Again, that brings up the designated player, Natalie Heath. Blankenship at first. Going to have a quick timeout here.
Angry Birds theme.
It's pretty sweet. We're going to have a pitching change, actually. That's going to do it for Brianna Lopez. It brings in yesterday's starter for Ole Miss, Aaliyah Binford, who went 7 strong innings, giving up just 1 earned run. She was outstanding. We'll see if the Gamecocks have a counter punch to that, but she's going to warm up in the circle. And I think it's awesome to see more of it in both baseball and softball. Two-way players, pitching and hitting. It's awesome that you can do both, and if you do it as well as Aaliyah Binford, you're definitely doing something right.
Agreed.
Again, South Carolina with a 4-2 lead against the Rebels, looking for their 30th win of the year, getting to 500 in conference play. Again, just you can't even begin to speak about how big that would be for this squad. They've got a midweek game against Charleston Southern before they hit the road. I believe it's Arkansas this weekend, another really solid SEC softball program. And, saying that's kind of a given.
Yeah.
At the start of the year, Xander, there were 13 SEC teams in the top 25. There are 16 SEC schools.
I think South Carolina's made their way in.
Pretty
now.
good. They did. They have cracked the top 25.
I'm not sure if they were in the original.
Definitely not to start. Again, you mentioned it. It's hard to know what to expect from this team. They're letting the nation know right now. That is for sure. Went on the road, took 2 of 3 against third-ranked LSU, and somehow didn't move up in the polls. That had me. That's mighty interesting.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Really.
I mean, you're looking at the team that is second in RPI in the nation. They're as high as 6 in another poll. So it depends on who you ask. But again, USA Today is pretty much the commonplace softball poll. That's what our the university uses. So of course,
first game was a little ugly, but they came back and won the series.
They did. As here it is, Binford settles in. There's a ball for her first pitch of the afternoon to Heath. Again, runner on first. No outs, bottom of the 6th. South Carolina with a 4-2 lead, looking to extend it. The 1-0 to Heath. Fastball. Just a tad inside. I thought the umpire said strike, and that's why I was about to say clip the inside, but it did not. So 2-0 is your count. Natalie Heath 0 for 2 today. Struggled a bit in this series, but trying to bounce back in a big way. She squares around a bunt, but pulls the bat back, and she'll watch ball 3 go by. Binford yet to throw a strike. And we bring you bad news. It's all but curtains for Gamecock women's basketball right now. They're down by 32 points in the 4th, and this UConn team is just seemingly too good. Back to the diamond. That fastball connects. 3-1 is your count to Heath. Again, if you're tuning in here, be sure to check out the coverage we have live from Tampa. Heath forgot she was walked. I thought I was waiting. I was like, I didn't see the fist go up. So Heath is walked in 5 pitches. And now there's 2 runners on and no outs. For Emma Sellers, it's a pinch hitter. She goes in for Emily Vinson. And we've seen this all series long. They kind of have a platoon system out in left, where Sellers comes in after 1 or 2 ABs from Vincent.
A great position to be in. 2 people on the bases, no outs. They can wrap this one really quickly.
And Xander, one thing I'd really like to see from South Carolina here, you see the infield playing, and you've got some speed on second, and you have a pinch runner in for Natalie Heath. That's Nia McKnight. I'd love to see Emma Sellers try, lay down a bunt, advance the runners, give yourself a much better chance to bring them home with 2 outs in the top of the lineup in the on-deck circle with Quincy Lilia.
Well, her situation is very versatile. With them playing up, there's a lot of gaps in the outfield.
Absolutely. There's a lot of space between infield and outfield, too, so those bloop singles that worked for Ole Miss could work in the Gamecocks' favor here. We do see the corner infielders playing in front of the bag here. Sellers does square around. She lays down a beauty. Binford comes up. She fires the first for the out, but Sellers does her job to perfection. What can I say? So again, runners on second and third now. And the beauty of that is it brings up Quincy Lilia, a very disciplined batter. She walked her last time up. She hasn't found a hit yet, but she found a pair of them yesterday. So trying to get back in the hit column, trying to extend the Gamecocks' lead and give Sam Gress a little bit more support. The first pitch from Binford. Fastball. Good for strike 1. That's a good-looking fastball.
I'll say.
Again, Binford looked great all day yesterday. 7 innings, just allowing 1 earned run. The 0-1 now to Lilia. She looks to slap hit. And Clark said she went around, so they will give her the strike there, even though the pitch was outside. 0-2 is your count now. Lilia definitely going to square things up, choke up a little bit, and give a defensive swing, because if you strike out here, then advancing those runners does a lot less for you. The 0-2, she stays alive with a foul ball. You know, I say that like Ariana Rhodey isn't in the on-deck circle. Yeah. Someone who's a very capable hitter, no matter the outs, the count, anything. She is one of the nation's finest, and especially at first base. She came in at the number 2 spot in the power rankings for all first basemen in the nation, according to D1 Softball, and that's quite an honor. The 0-2, Lilia stays alive again.
Really, second in the nation, wow.
Yeah, I mean, she is really hitting for a lot of power. She gets on base, she draws walks, and defensively, she's as good as they come, as well as the rest of this team. I mean, you talk about getting it done in the field. These pitchers have some of the best runs, defensive support behind them that you can imagine. That's why they're ranked 10th, man. I mean, this is a great team. And
they could be much higher.
They could. Lilia fouls that one off the foot. You know that one hurt, and she's in some pain, and she'll take a couple steps just trying to warm that one up, and the trainer will come to check on her as she does, of course, stay alive. 0-2 is your count. Nia McKnight, the pinch runner on second after Natalie Heath drew a walk. Brooke Blankenship, the runner at third after her second single of the day. Lilio's okay. She'll get back in the box. And the lefty hitter, again, looking to do some damage here. 0-2 is your count. 4-2 is your score. Bottom of the 6th. Binford gets the sign. Winds, deals. Lilio lines it over to third. De Leon back to the bag. They say she got Blankenship in time. No challenge. I would have expected, Chastain Woodard to pull, really try and look at that one. It was mighty close, but right in front of the third base umpire, Baptiste. So probably thinking he made the right call. And, Xander, who might argue with him, it's a tough angle from here. But we are going to move into the top of the 7th inning. Gamecocks lead it 4-2. Need just 3 outs to secure yet another series win. You don't want to miss it here on Student Gamecock Television. Welcome back to Beckham Field. 3 outs, and it's all over for South Carolina. They lead it 4-2 in the top of the 7th. I'm Spencer Ball, joined by Xander Collins. And what has turned into an exciting game the whole time, but especially here at the end. It's do or die for the Rebels, and they will be pinch hitting for Ryan Starr. It's going to be Ashton Lansdale stepping into the batter's box. It's righty-righty matchup.
Now or never for Ole Miss.
The first pitch from Gress. Couldn't be more middle. What a beauty. Again, Lansdale, a senior from Marietta, Georgia, and just 35 at-bats on the season, has 7 hits. One right now would be huge. The 0-1 from Gress. Off-speed swing and a miss. She wanted to cut the lead to 1.
Gress is looking to get out of here.
She wants to go home. She's thrown just 6 pitches before this inning, looking to get the save in this one. The 0-2 just got a piece of it, did Lansdale. Staying alive.
Just about.
It's the crowd getting into it here. The 0-2, Gress toes the rubber. Takes her sign. Now she winds, kicks, deals, swing and a miss. It's a strikeout for Sam Gress to start the 7th. Xander, there's no better way to start your last inning right there. Or what could be the last inning. Let me not put that out there. But, just
you've been speaking things into existence all afternoon, so.
I guess that wouldn't be a bad thing. It brings up the center fielder, Taylor Malvin. The slap hitter watches a rise ball go high for ball 1. And again, anything you can do to make these slappers give you weak contact, but preferably maybe pop something up or get to the right side of the infield, it's likely preferred. The 1-0 now. Gress comes home. Malvin slices underneath it for a foul ball.
When Malvin was able to make contact with the ball earlier in the game, she kind of worked against herself, hit it right in the direction she was running.
Yeah, and really you want to work it to the left up the middle even, but you just don't want it to be easy. That's the whole goal. You want to make the defense make a play and just trust your speed, and she's got plenty of that. The 1-1 to the Rebel center fielder. She gets under this one and fouls it off down the third baseline. A 1-2 count now as Gress eyes her potential second strikeout. Checks on her infield. Malvin steps back in. Gress comes set. She fires. Slapped again down towards that Ole Miss dugout. Malvin does a good job just to stay alive. The 1-2 to Malvin. The crowd backing Gress. Infield's in. She fires. Curveball. Malvin just got the inside of the bat to it. Fouled off once more, and again, as you probably saw by our reaction, UConn has defeated South Carolina women's basketball 82-59. A tough loss for the Gamecocks, but
Getting revenge on the 2022 matchup.
absolutely. So we'll talk on that in just a second. We've got a good AB here. Gress to Malvin, the 1-2. It's slapped to the left side. Chancey Fields fires in time. Got her by just a step for the second out of the seventh.
How good has Chancey been?
She's been awesome, man. Anything that gets over to that third base side, she is just eating up and firing over to Ariana Rhodey. And, you know, clean defense. Looks like two friends playing catch, man. I mean, Chancey fielded that one just right, easy for Rhodey to snag. And the potential last out of the game, Jaden Pone. It's the top of the order for the Rebels. Curveball, Pone lines it into center, Lilio in. It bounces in front of her, gets past her, Pone thinking about two, but she'll settle for one. It's a 2-out single for Jaden Pone.
A lot of narrow margins today. That one could have seen the end of the game, but keeps Ole Miss alive.
I mean, really close. Lilio, I think wisely didn't want to lay out for it because that could have put a runner in scoring position. Right now she holds Pone at first, and it does bring up Lair Boutte. Again, she has been excellent today. 2 doubles, 2 for 3 on the afternoon in a huge moment for the Rebels as she's the tying run. The first pitch, fastball down and away, ball 1. And Pone was one of the few hitters to have a good game against Gress on Friday. Really, nobody else in this Rebel lineup had any sort of success. The 1-0. Boutte fouls back. The 1-1. Pone on first. Boutte in the box. She gets a hold of one out to left. Vincent back at the track. Makes the catch to end the game. South Carolina wins it on a fly out to left field from Lair Boutte. They get their 6th ranked series win on the year and their 30th dub. Xander, what a win.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it, how incredible it is for this team to get their 30th win. A lot of people didn't expect that this season. Didn't think that they'd be able to compete, but here they are, taking their 6th ranked series victory of the year. I mean, what more could you want from this team?
It's just great all-around softball from everyone involved. Again, we're going to come back with a quick post-game show, but your Gamecocks win it 4-2. They take the series 2-1. We'll be right back after a quick break with a post-game show here on SGTV. Stick with us. And we're back here at Beckham Field. South Carolina just picked up a series win over 19th-ranked Ole Miss with a 4-2 victory. Again, I'm Spencer Ball. He's Xander Collins. Thanks for hanging out with us all day. And, Xander, it was a dominant first inning for South Carolina. They scored all 4 of their runs in that bottom half. But, again, the offense was clicking much better than it was the last couple days. But this pitching and this defense, as special as it ever has been.
I mean, there's a reason people say defense wins championships.
That transcends sports, too.
Yeah,
That's any sport.
Five scoreless innings in between the 5th and the 6th. So, I mean, Ole Miss contested it there at the end. We usually see Carolina do most of their damage at the end of the game, but opting to do it at the first inning of the game and really close things out before we really even knew it.
That's right, and again, South Carolina did leave a couple runners on base, but they did the same to Ole Miss. There was a couple opportunities there. Jory Hurd and Sam Gress with an outstanding combined performance in the circle. And really, that's going to do it here. South Carolina picks up another series win. Just impressive stuff all around, all weekend. They win on Friday. They lose on Saturday in a real nail-biter, and they pick up the series win in the rubber match on Sunday. Again, thanks for hanging out with us. I'm Spencer Ball. He's Xander Collins. See you next time.